and welcome back to Lantern Creek Farm. All right, guys, we've made it out to the farm. I want to get my farm chores done, but I want to talk to you all about something. I got a call earlier this morning from a friend who's looking to get started in gardening. She had asked me, how she needed to start a garden. So I'm going to start a series of videos. This is going to be the first one. I talked about how to start a gardening for beginners. Look at all this water, guys. We got a lot of rain through the night. It's running down the grass. We got a little stream going. This is right in front of the barn. Alright guys, so in this video we're going to talk about the different types of gardens you can have. So here on this farm, before we go up and show you what we have two different types of gardens. Well, I guess technically 3 different types of garden, and we have done a garden one of the ways that I'm going to speak about, which is container gardens as well. So primarily on this farm we do in the ground. We till up the ground and we use that for our garden space. Last year we added 3 raised beds. And if you don't know, on this property there's 2 families that eat out of the entire garden. So my mother-in-law and father-in-law, this is their property, and we use this place to grow food. And while I'm speaking about that, I want to go ahead and touch on that a little bit. So I had seen a comment on somebody else's YouTube channel that was talking about it was a post in their community tab, and they were talking about growing food and how it's so much better for you. And somebody commented and said, I don't have land, so I can't grow food. And I went ahead and commented on their post, and I said, you don't have to have land in order to grow food. We don't. So we don't own this property in which we farm. We raise animals for meat. We raise animals for fun, for hobby. We raise animals for protein sources. And along with that, we raise a garden. We raise our own food. Now, we are not completely self-sufficient, unfortunately, but we're working our way towards that. That is our goal, is to be completely self-sufficient. So, anyways, I just wanted to throw that out there. Now we're going to talk about a few different types of gardens out there. Some of them are more popular, some of them are less popular. Some of them you can kind of do, you can tweak and do how you want to do. And I'm probably going to forget some, but let's go ahead and get started. The first one, the most common one in our area, is in ground. And this is typically, back in the olden days, this is a very old-fashioned way of growing food, which is tilling up the ground and putting your plant in it and growing food. This can be done in small areas, and this can be done in large areas. Now, this is not something you can do in your apartment. This is not something you could do in like a duplex area, probably. This is not something you could do maybe in a big city unless you have a yard. So this is more if you have a small piece of land, a small yard, up to a large piece of land and quite a few acres. So this is something that you can do if you have, a little bit of room to till the ground and grow. The second one, which I've found has become more popular in the last few years, is raised bed gardens. Now, there's different ways to do raised bed gardens. You can make them as tall, as round, as square, as rectangular, as triangle, as whatever you want. They are very versatile, raised beds are. And you can do them with a mixture between the soil that you have with added in soil. A lot of people get topsoil. You can also buy, soil in bags. You can go to your local, probably farm supply store. They probably have soil. You can get on your Facebook page or your Craigslist, or even your local whatever you have, and ask people if they have soil that you can put in your raised beds. They are very versatile with shape, and they are very versatile with size, but they still are something that you need a little bit of land for. That you at least need a yard to put raised beds in. The next one, which I've also found is really popular, and it is something that is more versatile, something that people can use in apartments, people that can use that have a farm, people that can use that just live in the suburbs and have, you know, a little piece of land. You don't need land for this, which is container gardens. Now, a container garden pretty much consists of a container with food in it. So you can use 5-gallon buckets, you can use bowls, you can use pots, you can use those stackable, the stackable gardens. I think they sell those at the dollar store now. And container gardens are something that can be as expensive or as cheap as you want it to be. So you can go out and scavenge and look for and try to find buckets and bowls and things in your area. But container gardens are versatile in the way that anybody can grow food. As long as you have sunlight, water, and soil, it's going to grow. So you can put a container in your window and grow your own food, which is fantastic. Another type of gardening or a gardening style is no-till. Now, this is something that we don't do, and I don't really know much about it, but it's something that you could look into. No-till, meaning you do not till the ground. You can use a specific tool where they like lift up and aerate the ground. I have seen people do that. And then you just put your plant down in the ground. There's also a type of gardening that we do here. My father-in-law is very fond of it, is using straw. I guess you would call it a straw garden or hay. And the idea is that the straw or the hay is going to be your earth. It's going to be your ground. So you cover the ground in straw or hay. I think hay is probably a better option. You cover the ground, you take your plant or your seed and you put it on top of that hay, and then you cover that with hay or straw. However you want to do, straw, hay. And you just watch your plants grow. Now, you know, it is something that you do have to have land for. Like I said before, it's going to be like the till method or the raised bed method. You're going to have room for it. It is a little bit more messier, but it does keep your plants more moist in the warmer months. You also hear a lot about the different types of gardening you can do within those things. So back to Eden garden, along with the kind of the no-till method, the like forest gardening, things like that. There's multiple different types of gardening, but the ones that I'm going to kind of lean you all towards, or the ones that I'm going to talk about, are the specific ones that we have done, which are the container gardening, the straw or hay gardening, the tilling gardening, your traditional garden, or your raised bed gardening. I find that those are kind of the most common and the most you can find the most information on out there. So guys, like I told you all, this garden up here is on my mother-in-law and father-in-law's property. And it feeds multiple families. We produce enough food to eat fresh, we produce enough food to preserve, and we produce enough food to sell a little bit or to give away. So I'm going to go up here and show you kind of what we've got going on in our garden and talk about why we do it the way we do. All right, guys, so we are standing in front of our garden. If you notice, I hope you can see it in the camera, we've got some trellises up here. And back here, I don't know if you can see it. I'll bring you all over there. On this side is our raised beds. This whole entire area here, along with some area up there that you probably can't see in the camera, is our in the ground till garden. So this area is where we till our garden, and I've talked about it on some other videos, but if you can notice, it's been raining and we have clay soil, very heavy clay soil. And if you don't know anything about clay soil, it can be very hard to grow in. But we have spent the last few years since we've raised a garden here that amending the soil and adding compost and manure. So if you can't hear it in the background, we have chickens. We've had goats in the past, we've had horses and cows in the past, and we have rabbits. So now we add chicken manure and rabbit manure to this garden to help enrich the soil and make it a little bit easier to grow food. Sprinkling a little bit on us, so hopefully we don't get rained out. It's been coming quite a few showers today. So in this front part of the garden, or the back, whichever way you're standing, this right here is our potato patch. So if you can see kind of the areas where the rain is sitting, it's because we have 1, 2, 3 rows of potatoes in the garden right now. Along with that, or 4, I think it's 4 actually, I said 3, it's 4. Along with that, we have this area that we haven't decided what we're going to put here. Probably corn. That's what we grew here last year. So if we're moving up here, you notice that we have 1, 2, 3 raised beds and a fence that needs put back up. This is a trellis that we used for cucumbers last year to probably get fixed and mended and put back up. But guys, these are our berry raised beds. On this front bed here, we have raspberries and maybe blackberries or blueberries. No, the blueberries got something on them and we had to pull them out, unfortunately. In this bed, so exciting. Can you all see the little white flowers? We have our strawberry patch, which is doing absolutely wonderful. Like I said, we just started these last year and everything has seemed to survive besides the blueberries, unfortunately. Here we have onions right there, garlic here, and I just put in the ground here some onions as well. I'll flip the camera around and we'll show you. So it looks like we've got some onions coming up, which is so exciting. I didn't know if they'd make it. There's the onions, here's the garlic, and it smells amazing up here, guys. And here are the strawberries. They're beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Don't they look just so pretty with that rain on them? I'm gonna come over here and I'll show you the raspberries. Beautiful vines. I've showed you this garden here. I've showed you our raised beds here. I'm going to show you the hay, or the straw. It's what we call Ricky's garden. This is my father-in-law's garden. And I want to go ahead and say in this as well, my father-in-law is in bad health and has been for a while. And this is gardening that he can do. This is something he don't have to worry about weeding. This is something that he can do very easily by himself. And so if you have a little piece of land and you don't have the resources or the money to start raised beds, or the resources or the time to maintain a large garden in the ground, straw or hay gardening is a good option for you, or an option you could consider. So he has multiple rows here. As you can see, he's got some, I think those are collards coming up. He has garlic there. He has carrots somewhere. I think they're in that first row there. These are potatoes, I believe, and there is another row of potatoes here. So guys, like I said, I wanted to show you the types of gardening, or the type of garden that we use here on the farm, because that's what I can attest to. That's what I know how to grow. Something we don't have here right now is the container gardens. So throughout the summer last year, if you didn't notice in the back of the video, I'll go ahead and walk over here. This is not the most aesthetically pleasing. It's not going to be the prettiest thing, but we have tires over here. And with the tires, we raised cabbage. I think we just raised cabbage in the tires last year, but this is a type of container. It contains something. We also raised a few things in some 5-gallon buckets as well. We don't have those things out because, you know, it's spring and we don't have anything started in them yet. We haven't got our plants out yet. I hope this video gave you some ideas of the different types of gardening, or the different ways that you can garden to produce your own food. I want to make these videos to let everybody know that it is possible to grow some amount of food. If you are wanting to kind of get away from the store-bought foods, or the things that, you know, are produced but maybe not be as healthy, or without, you know, some of the chemicals or preservatives they add for food, the best way to do that is to grow your own food, or to find somebody near you that can grow their own food. I'm fully aware of the fact that some people just don't have the time. Some people just don't want to. Some people just don't want to put the resources of the time or the money in, or some people don't have the resources of the time to put in. And so I'm not here to tell you you need to grow your own food. I'm here to say that if you are questioning the methods in the world today, questioning the methods of what's going on with our food, and you want to do something different, you want to move a different route, then it's wonderful. It's a great way. Gardening is a great way to produce your own food. And if you can't garden, find somebody that does. Find somebody that will, you know, you can buy produce off of, or will share their produce with you. There's plenty of gardeners out there, I'm sure, that will share their produce with you. I know that we do with our friends that don't garden. If they come around our way, or we see them, you know, we give them food. We give them gardening produce. But guys, I just wanted to make this video to kind of show you the different ways, like I said, and encourage you and uplift you and let you know that you can do it. If you want to do it, you can do it. Guys, I appreciate y'all watching. I appreciate y'all hanging out, and I hope that you'll grow something. We'll see you later.
Bye. God bless.
Bye.